Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Seyer boxing gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Seyer Made in Mexico boxing gloves. I got mine in the red and black colorway. These are full genuine leather construction, handmade in Mexico. I got them in 16 ounces. You can get them in 12 or 14 ounces. And I believe this particular model only comes in lace up, although you may be able to reach out to Seyer to see if you can possibly get a Velcro version. They were originally black laces, but were switched out for these neon yellow laces. Now, Seyer is a brand and a glove that I've been trying to get my hands on for a very long time now. They've been around for many years, and from what I recall, Seyer was founded by a family member, an original family member that was related to CLETO Reyes. So CLETO Reyes is now ran by the son Alberto Reyes, and I believe again that Seyer is related to them. And like a lot of these smaller Mexican boutique brands created their own brand and called it Seyer, which is basically just Reyes spelled backwards. So that's pretty much how Seyer as a brand was founded. Obviously, they're not as popular as CLETO Reyes is, but still, I was really interested in trying these out to see how these would perform, just like I have with a lot of other Mexican-made gloves. Now, first things first, looking at this from a design standpoint, when you're looking at the glove, I'd say it has a little bit more of a medium to larger profile. You can see that it does have the Seyer logo on the back of the glove. One thing I noticed is the way that this logo is actually printed on here. You can actually see kind of the, I don't know if you can catch it in the video, you can see the rectangle of where it was printed, and I feel like that could have been done cleaner, where you just have the lettering that's printed on the leather, not that kind of translucent rectangle. So it almost looks like they used like a rectangle label to stick it on there, and when they peeled it off, it just left some kind of residue on there. You have this cowhide leather that has a satin finish to it, very nice. Latex foam padding that is on the medium density side. Not extremely soft, not hard. I'd say right there in the middle in terms of density when you push down on it. You come down to the back of the wrist support. You have that nice black leather. The leather on this glove has that really rich leather smell that you get with a lot of Mexican style gloves. It does say professional Seyer, made in Mexico, 1930, 16 for the weight. And coming down to the back, or should I say to the lower portion where the cuff is at, you do have the Seyer label inside here. Has like their Instagram, their Facebook info, obviously the warning label. And one thing I like about this glove, it has a really nice smooth satin liner on the inside, nothing rough on the inside right there. The back of the wrist is about, I'd say maybe a 1/4 inch of padding, and the same with the inside of the wrist. One thing you'll notice right off the bat with this glove compared to some of the other Mexican gloves I've reviewed, Zeppo, Gil, Casanova, which is now Nakali, is that this glove is much softer. It's a softer feeling glove. And weight-wise, these gloves are, I believe, they're advertised obviously at 16, but they weighed in at like 15.2 ounces. So not only are they softer feeling than some traditional Mexican-made gloves, but they're also almost an ounce lighter than their advertised weights. Where typically I've always seen, Mexican gloves are heavier than their advertised weight. So that's kind of unique in that regard. Right here you have another caution warning label at the bottom of the piping. You have the laces, black piping right there. The wrist support padding goes up to right here. You can see where the stitching is on both sides, double stitching right there. Black piping around the thumb, more holes for the thumb right there. Leather attached thumb, and I'd say a pretty good sized grip bar that goes all the way across. No ventilated holes, and that's pretty much it. So you can see one thing with the profile of the glove is that it has more of like a Grant-like shape to it. Not really like a Reyes type glove. Reyes has a little bit of a different shape. So although they may be related, the glove itself, to me, has, again, more of a Grant-like shape, especially the thumb. You see it has that real nice straight parallel thumb, which is something that you see in Grant boxing gloves. Now, quality-wise, I love the leather on these gloves. They're very supple. They're very nice. The stitching is pretty good. You can see some areas where the stitching is kind of pulling through on the leather itself, like right there. And on this outside edge, you can see some of the stitching kind of pulling through on the leather. This outside edge right here, this corner, you can see as well, some of the stitching looks like it was kind of double backed and kind of done a little bit sloppy. The glove is definitely top heavy. I feel like it lacks the wrist support that you traditionally see with other Mexican made gloves, which is a shame because it's about 1 ounce. It's about 1 ounce underweight, which again is an underweight glove. So I feel that they could have incorporated a stiffer foam padding around the wrist area to kind of give the glove a little bit more balance. But you can see that it's definitely floppy and it's a very top heavy glove. The label, you can see that rectangular kind of imprint from the label when they stuck it on there. I do like this patch that they put on here. It doesn't feel cheap, and I like that it has a black with the silver kind of outline around the lettering, the font. That looks really clean. The symmetry looks good. You know, stitching is pretty symmetrical and straight. Again, the leather quality on this is very nice. I love the smooth satin liner that they use on the inside. Stitching overall looks pretty solid. I'd say just the stitching on the outside edges is probably the big opportunity. The weight and the lack of wrist support is going to be the big thing in terms of quality. You can see the leather on the thumb looks pretty good. Where it meets the back of the glove looks clean. So overall, not too bad, but not the greatest. Comfort-wise, slide our hand in here. That's probably the biggest thing, the biggest difference with this glove is that this is probably one of the most broken in gloves I've ever used. You can see, like, once you put your hand in here, I mean, there's relatively no resistance in being able to open and close your hands. For those of you that really love those broken in soft feeling gloves, this is definitely in that category. The thumb feels great, nice parallel thumb. You do have a good amount of foam on the back of the thumb to give you protection and support right there. And the tip is long enough to where it doesn't jam when you make a fist. It pulls down just ever so slightly, but it doesn't make a difference in terms of your thumb jamming at the tip of the thumb, which is good. I feel like the hand compartment is pretty much a perfect size for a 16-ounce glove. With my hand wraps on when I wear these, it doesn't feel like it's too wide to where my hand scoots around. I mean, it's a little bit on the roomy side, but not too much. Once you have your hand wraps on there, I feel like it fits perfectly. Not too snug, not too loose, not too narrow. The depth of the finger compartment is good as well. You can feel the actual leather and a little bit of felt that they put over the stitching so it covers the stitching. So that's a nice little added touch that they did where they added that felt piece at the bottom to give you a little bit more of a comfort feel with the finger compartment. So finger compartment feels good, thumb feels really good. The opening right here is large enough to where it doesn't pinch down on your thumb, especially this thumb piece right here, the piping, that feels good as well. The liner on the inside, I feel like once it gets up to about right here, I feel like the liner switches over to more of like a kind of a wrinkly type of foam liner. And I wish they used a satin throughout the entire inside of the hand compartment. So that's one little opportunity if you're kind of being nitpicky in terms of like little comfort details that you're looking for on the inside of the glove. But outside of that, the rest of the glove feels really good. Protection, performance-wise, I'd say that this is a balanced glove. It's not exactly a puncher's glove because I feel like the foam on here isn't incredibly soft to where you can really just push your fingers right through it. But you do have that nice flat punch surface when you make contact. So I'd say it's right there in the middle. You can use it for sparring, you can use it for bag work, you can use it for hitting the mitts. Pretty much your all-around gym glove you can use these for. You get a good amount of feedback when you're using this for the heavy bag. I feel like it is protective enough for you and your sparring partner if you were to use these for sparring. Although the lack of the wrist support would be an issue I would be concerned with. So make sure you kind of tape off your wrists, wrap your hands very well if you're going to use these gloves, because again, this section of the glove right here is lacking in the support. So that would be my only concern. But as far as the latex foam padding goes, that feels really good as well in terms of feedback, pop, just a kind of overall good performing padding that they use in here. And I know there's different grades of latex that they can use. Some of the cheaper end stuff that kind of breaks away. I've had gloves in the past where the latex is really cheap and it kind of dried out and you can actually feel the latex start to crumble on the inside of the gloves. And so far these haven't had those issues, so that's a big plus for these gloves. Cost-wise, these gloves are about a hair above, I think, 1,700 Mexican pesos, which is about $86 US, which is a great price for a glove like this. I mean, if you're looking at $86 plus shipping, let's say, you know, maybe $110 shipped to your door for a full genuine leather glove, I think it's a really good deal. I mean, especially if you're looking for something unique that you haven't tried before, that honestly, I haven't really seen a Mexican glove like this in terms of just the design, the type of liner they use. You know, the thumb shape is like Grant, but obviously the price is nowhere crazy as Grant in terms of how expensive the Grants are. They're much softer than a lot of traditional Mexican-made gloves, and they're lighter than their advertised weight. So they're kind of an anomaly when it comes to Mexican-made boxing gloves. So at the price point, I definitely think it's worth a look. I enjoy using these gloves. I think there's a couple of small little details they can work on to make these even better. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with these Seyer boxing gloves. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find the Seyer boxing gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.